All right, a very good morning, friends. Thank you for joining me this morning. It is 9 a.m. sharp on a Wednesday morning, 13th of July, 2022. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to do the APEL briefing. So today's session, I know on paper it is stated for 4 hours, but definitely we will not need that long duration. I expect it to be done by 11 o'clock max. Okay. Now, during the session itself, if you have any question, please feel free to ask, because this can be quite new to some of you, and so on. So you can ask it, you can unmute yourself to ask questions, or if you want to, you can even write it in the chat box. All right, guys? So good to see all of you. Just give me a second. Let me just adjust something here. Okay, it is better. Right. Good to see all of you. I believe the reason why you're here is because you understand where we are heading and the importance of APEL itself, not only towards our education policy in Malaysia, but also to the headway that UOW Malaysia is planning to go to. Okay. Basically, what we see is we feel that APEL is something that is a way to go, in the way that we structure our delivery, and also the way that we market to the public on the offerings that we have in our institution. Now, please do take note. What I'm going to tell you all are actually extracted majority from the guidelines from the government, because all of these are government related, and thus that we are unable to create our own policies and procedures. So it's very much we need to follow from what the government has stated and have put on their whole guideline itself. And from there, then we will then deliver, or we will then implement it in our own institution. Okay. So I think to start it off, it is very important for me to explain to you all the first thing of what APEL is. We always hear the word APEL, A-P-E-L. Now, APEL stands for Accreditation of Prior Experiential Learning. Okay, so when we look at here, this sentence itself can be broken down into certain key components. The first part is accreditation. Okay, accreditation is basically to recognize that it has met certain levels or certain expectation. It has met, but that doesn't mean it is totally accepted. Okay, it has met, and okay. Now, so what is met? What is met is the prior experiential learning. Okay, prior experiential learning is learning based on experience. Now, all of us as individuals, we learn on a daily basis. We learn in many different methods. Okay, many of us will understand the formal aspects of learning, that what our students are doing. We pay money, we join a particular program, and at the end of the day, in the duration, let's say 3 years, we are given a degree, or 2 years a diploma, and so on. That is a very formal style of learning. But in our daily experiences and our daily doings, we are also learning. Some of us are interested in photography. So what we do is we go to websites, and then we learn photography and so on our own, because we enjoy it. And this knowledge that we have garnered will be with us for a long time. All right. So what we see in APEL here is we want to accredit this kind of learning that has taken place, not the formal type of learning, but learning of all natures that has taken place in your life itself. So this can be what you have watched online, what you have practiced, what you have done, and so on. Now, this recognition is basically to the fact that once we have achieved, then if it is accredited and it is then eventually recognized, then this person who has gone through that journey of experiential learning would be able to attain certain forms of exemptions or credit transfer. Okay, so in the traditional sense, we always recognize formal learning. But what is APEL is the recognition of not only formal, but the experiential side, the informal and non-formal learning styles and methods that we have gone through. So during today's session, I'm going to explain to you what are these formal, non-formal, and informal styles of learning, and how we play a part in this whole journey of the APEL itself, and the numerous kinds of APEL that are available. We have APEL A, we have APEL C, and now we have APEL Q. And what are our jurisdictions, or what are we allowed to do in this context? Okay, we cannot do all. So what can we do based on our approval and licensing that UOW Malaysia has? Okay, so that is what we are going to do today. Okay, now, the key talking points that we're going to look at is going to be the emergence of APEL, how the APEL actually start, types and objective of APEL, policies of APEL, APEL assessment tools, and implementation of APEL itself. Okay, so this is what we are going to cover today. Now, I think the first thing that we need to look at is on the emergence of APEL, how the APEL actually kickstart. Now, basically, this recognition was driven very much due to our Malaysian education blueprint. Okay, the blueprint over here for the year 2015 to 2025 emphasizes on one key aspect, which is called lifelong learning. Now, lifelong learning is the encouragement to every individual that learning doesn't stop only at our tertiary level. Okay, it doesn't only stop there. It doesn't stop when you're 25 or 24 or 23 and so on. It is ongoing. Okay, because what they have identified is there were a lot of individuals who actually started working and did not have the resources. Time is a key resource to actually go back to formal learning. Okay, because when you go back to formal learning, it requires a lot of dedication, time, investment, and so on. So many people couldn't do that. And many of these individuals who were already in positions of authority that of quite high authority, even though they did not have formal education. So but these people were already very good individuals. They're very knowledgeable individuals, but they may not have the formal education itself. And because of this drive for lifelong learning, the government then started implementing this APEL process to recognize what these individuals have actually done. Okay, so if you look at the emergence of APEL, it is basically through what our government wants, where they want to drive lifelong learning and to recognize people's learning, those who have been working in the industry for many, many years, and allow them to, in a way, transcend into formal education at a reduced or a shorter period of time. Okay. Now, when you look into APEL itself, at what levels are then APEL allowed by its individuals? So when you talk about lifelong learning over here, I think it's important for us to understand in Malaysian context, we have these MQF levels. Now, this is very, very fundamental principles of education here in Malaysia, where we start at the bottom, 1, 2, and 3 certificate, 4 diploma, 5 advanced, 6 degree, 7 will be your master's, and 8 will be your PhD. So that is why when we always talk MQF level 7, MQF level 6, that is what it means lah. Okay. Now, when we talk about lifelong learning, accreditation of prior experiential learning APEL is allowed for all levels. It's all levels. It is all levels. So it doesn't mean that it is only for degree students and so on. No, it is for all levels. Okay, so I think the first thing that we need to clearly understand here is when we talk about MQF levels, it is very important for us to understand that in Malaysian's context, for you to enter a level 6, there are what you call entry requirements. So let me just have a question to the crowd over here. For you to enter a level 6, which is a bachelor's degree, what is the entry requirement? What is the entry requirement? Come on, guys. Entry requirement for a degree. I see PLs and so over here. Yes. All right. It could be 5 credits in what? SPM? Is it? SPM or equivalent? SPM or foundation? Degree SPM tak boleh? Degree A levels, STPM or diploma? STPM, Foundation A levels, pre-U, correct. So we mustn't forget STPM also. So that is our entry requirements lah, Malaysia. Now for diploma, it is basically 3 credits for O levels or SPM. All right, for diploma. All right, or if you have a certificate, with at least 1 credit. So that is already understood. That is really understood. Okay, so I think the first thing we need to understand that in Malaysian context, I'm using Malaysian context, entry into an MQF level program requires minimum entry requirements. For you to enter a level 7, technically, you need a level 6. You need a level 6 for you to enter a level 7. Okay, for you to enter a level 8, you at least need a level 7. All right, basically. Now, certain institutions will have this, that, and whatnot, but in generally, over in the MQF levels and how it states, that is how it is. All right, so once we understand that already, then APEL becomes a little bit clearer for the first part. Okay, so that is entry requirement. Clear, huh? So this is entry requirements. So that is MQF levels. Now, so APEL, Accreditation of Prior Experiential Learning, or Akreditan Pengalaman Pembelajaran Terdahulu, that is in BM. So basically here, it is the assessment of prior learning. What we do is we assess prior. Prior learning means learning that has done before. Learning that has done before. That's the word prior over there. So it could be formal, informal, and non-formal. Formal, informal, and non-formal over there. Those are the types of learning that we can attain. So we assess all of these types of learning. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a recap a little bit. Remember, when we talk about MQF levels, for you to enter a level 6, you need STPM, you need A levels, you need foundation. Those are formal learning, formal with certificate. Okay. But in APEL, we not only recognize formal, we also look at informal and non-formal. Now, so what are these things called formal, non-formal, or informal learning? To put it in a nutshell, formal learning is anything that you take that is accredited by a body, a strong body, a governing body. Like a diploma in Malaysia, it is 90 credits. You attain that diploma, that is called formal learning. SPM is formal learning. STPM is formal learning. Foundation, A levels, diploma, degree, master's, PhD. All these are formal learning. Goes through a strict process. 90 credits for diploma, minimum 2 years. 120 credits for degree, minimum 3 years. That is formal learning. Understand? Good. Non-formal learning is learning of your own choice. You choose to do a program. You choose to take a course in Coursera. You like baking. You join English Hot Break, which is a school that teaches baking. You join a 2-day baking course. You join a 3-day pastry course. These are called non-formal learning. Not MQA approved, but you can get a cert. There is a syllabus and so on. Understand? Any questions so far? Okay, so that is non-formal learning. I joined Coursera. Wow, something very interesting called Programming 101. It is 50 US dollars. It is 16 hours. I joined. It is not accredited by MQA, nothing, but for my own interest. I love computer programming. So I learned already, finished, I got 1 cert. Yay, happy. Okay, that is non-formal learning. Informal learning is either than that. It is based on our interests. That is called informal learning. Like photography, some of us, we like gardening. We like gardening, we just love gardening. But because of your love for gardening, you learn on your own how to do bud grafting, how to take care of the grass, how to use what kind of fertilizer, and so on. That is called informal learning based on our interests. Many of us go through informal learning on a daily basis due to what we enjoy, due to our daily, what we do daily, and so on. Okay, understand? We have formal, we have non-formal, and we have informal. Any questions so far? Boleh? All right. Okay, all right, should be good. Okay. Yes, clear. Good. Now, so this is the explanation all there. We have formal, refers to learning that occurs in an organized and structured environment. Usually intentional, and the assessment of learning leads to a award, SPM, STPM, and so on. Non-formal learning, I go to the non-formal because this graph is done informal. Non-formal refers to learning that is intentional, which can be conducted in a structured and organized environment. This form of learning may not necessarily lead to a formal certificate. That is called non-formal. Informal is self-effort, incidental or unintentional. Okay, so these are all the process penilaian. These are the different kinds of learning that we take place. Okay, so ask yourself, I want you to now reflect on yourself. All of you got formal learning right now. All of you have your degree, your master's, your PhD, and so on. Some of you have your PhD and whatnot. So this is called your formal learning. Okay, you have your SPM, right? I hope all of you got your SPM. That is formal learning. Some of you got even SRP. When SRP was still there, that is all formal learning. Okay, now ask yourself, do you have any non-formal learning? Did you join any programs? Did you join any courses on your own accord based on your own interests? Did you join a baking course? Got or not? Any of you got or not? Okay, I actually joined, what do you call that? Under Coursera, I joined Coursera on principles of teaching, principles of pedagogy, all of those things quite a few years ago when I was learning. So I joined. So that is called non-formal learning. Okay. Instructor course. But what do you mean by instructor course? How to be an instructor, is it? Okay, you like train the trainer. Does joining training courses from TLC considered non-formal learning? Yes, those are called non-formal learning. Okay, non-formal learning. Some of you already follow our process, right? Our series. Some of you got certificate already. The OBE certificate, the this, the that, and so on. Those are called non-formal learning. Now, what about informal learning? What about informal learning? Do you all? American Heart Associate instructor, can non-formal learning. Okay. Now, what about informal learning? Do you all have what kind of informal learning do you all participate or have you all done? Got. There was a period I used to love baking. I bake breads. I don't go for courses. I go online. I check recipe. I trial and error. So I do my own baking. That is called informal learning. Cooking in the process. Alicia, maybe for you, cooking may not be the best suggestion because I think you have to start with learning how to boil water first. Okay, all right. So that is called informal learning. All of us may have certain interests and whatnot. So now we are clear on that. Okay, so I'm going on to the next stage. So what are the types of APEL now? So we already know recognition of learning. We got formal, informal, non-formal. Okay, now I want you to put that aside first. Now, there are 3 types of APEL that are available in the market. Tiga. We have APEL A, APEL C, APEL Q. I want you to remember this. A stands for assess. C stands for credit transfer. Q stands for qualification. A, assess. C, credit transfer. Q, qualification. Okay? Now, in a nutshell, all of these are individual on their own. It is not you must finish APEL A first, then APEL C, then APEL Q. The one done here is because Malaysia started with APEL A. Then once it was launched, then they went to APEL C, then it went to APEL Q. It doesn't mean it is sequential. A student can apply for APEL C or Q without going through APEL A. Understand? Now, APEL A, assess. ACCESS. Assess means to go into. To go into. Okay, so APEL A is used for individuals who do not have the minimum entry requirements for a program. You all already said, you already know. To enter a degree program, you need foundation, you need diploma, you need A levels, or you need STPM. Let's say I only have SPM. SPM. I've been working for many years. I am now the front office manager in a 5-star hotel. I got SPM. I want to join KDU, hotel school degree, because I need to climb the ladder, and they say no degree, I cannot climb. I come into this institution, I say, I am now front office manager, this is my SPM cert. KDU cannot accept the student because Malaysian regulation state that without minimum entry requirements, you cannot join the program. Understand? Clear, huh? That part very clear, huh? Okay. Regardless, if I am the general manager, I'm the front office manager or anything, I still cannot join the program. Okay. So what do I do? I'm in a lurch. I'm in a jam. This is where APEL A comes in. APEL A is the APEL that I will need to apply and go through and pass so that it allows me access into that program. Understand? Huh? So what I will do is I will apply for APEL A. I will go and apply in MQA. APEL A can only be applied in MQA. So you must go to the website, you click, you apply. Later I will explain to you. Don't worry. You click, then you go. So A, so that is access. Any questions? Okay, boleh. Okay, now, can we do it? We, UOW Malaysia KDU, can do or not? Tak boleh, cannot. We don't have, government don't give us the license to do APEL A. I have been getting a lot of inquiries about APEL A. Every time when people marketing call me, Gabe, I got students want to ask about APEL. Students want to ask about APEL. Students want to ask about APEL. 95%, I can say 95% out of 2019 is about APEL A. They will talk to you, big story. I want to apply for APEL A. This is no, I want to apply for APEL. This. Then when you ask them question, what program do you want to do? I want to do the master's program. I'm many years working in the industry already. Now, then how many years? What and so on? What do you want to apply for? I only got STPM. I only got diploma, but I want to do master. Diploma tahap 4. Masters tahap 7. Tak boleh. Diploma to masters tak boleh. But he said, I got 15 years of experience. How? He need to apply APEL A. He need to apply APEL A. So after listening for 20 minutes on the phone, I will tell that person, thank you, sir. No problem. I will send you some details, but the application of what you need, we cannot do. We cannot do. Memang cannot do one. Please click on this. Please click on this link. Go to the MQA website. Follow the instructions, and then it will go on. That is how it is. Once you got your APEL A, you already got a certificate to say that saya telah mencapai or whatever this person has already achieved, then you can come in to join our program. No problem. So if that student got APEL A, with the cert, he come in to us, we will accept that person in due to the entry of APEL A, not prior formal learning. Formal learning was only diploma. Diploma cannot go masters, but because he go through APEL A, he passed. With that cert, he can do his masters. That is what APEL A is. Okay? Good. Next we have is called APEL C. C, cacing, credit transfer. This one, we are an institution. UOW Malaysia KDU is an APEL C institute, APEL C accredited organization. Okay, we can process APEL C. APEL C is when we recognize the students' learning that meets the course learning outcome of a particular course, and we meet, and the students' learning exceeds that CLO, they go through the process of assessment. If they pass, they can get APEL C. That means they pass through APEL C, they can get credit transfer. Credit transfer means no need to take the course formally, okay, and automatically in the transcript, butchery already CT. You know, we all know, for many of you, you know, CT means credit transfer. That means the credit is earned but got no grade. That is APEL C. Later, I will explain in more detail. It has nothing to do with entry of the student. Student already in the program. Now, what kind of student can apply for APEL C? All kinds of student. Student that come in through APEL A also can. Student that come into the normal process also can. Okay, so this is what it is. Understand? I will go into more detail. APEL Q is the newest that only recently launched 8 to 12 months ago. Certain institutions are only doing it. I won't stress so much. APEL Q allows for an individual to go through a process of assessment, a very stringent process of assessment. If that person achieves all the PLO, not CLO, PLO, then that person will be awarded the qualification. APEL Q, let's say I go to an institution and I apply for APEL Q in a Bachelor of teaching, for example. I go through the process, I go through all the tests, I go through the assessment and so on, the interviews, this, that. I'm not saying that is the only assessment, but it is a very stringent one. And I meet the PLOs of that program, then I pass. The institution can award me, dear Mr. Lau, you have passed everything, you have achieved APEL Q, this is the qualification. That means I will attain the Bachelor in Teaching or Education. That I don't need to go class, but I will achieve that. But it's a very stringent process. Very, very stringent. Okay, that is called APEL Q. We cannot do. We are not an institution that can do that. Certain institution can do for certain specific programs only. Okay, so for us, UOW Malaysia KDU, we only can do APEL C. All right, can? Good? Following? Should be good. It's Wednesday morning. Okay. Now, we are an UOW Malaysia KDU is an APEL C center only. Yeah. So the center coordinators over in Penang is Miss Melissa Moy, and over in Selangor, it will be myself. So here, the APEL center is at TLC office. It's Hazim and I running this center itself. We do the administrative side. However, the whole process of evaluation and whatnot is down to the school. The school is the one that does the evaluation to the candidate. Why? Because the school is the subject expert. I cannot assess Python. Let's say the students say that I have done Python programming for the past 5 years, and I'm very good at it. And one of the subject that you have is called Introduction to Python, for example. I cannot assess because I am not the subject expert. So the school will need to do all the assessment towards it. That is in APEL C. Okay, understand? Because it's by per course. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about the A and C, APEL A and C. So a bit background of APEL A, open entry policy system. So basically in 2011, APEL A started for tahap 6. Tahap 6 is bachelor. Then 2013, diploma and certificate, and 2014 is master's level T17. Okay. Now, so APEL C 2015, APEL C unit started in 2015, and then launching the development 15, launching APEL C is only 2016. Okay, so it is actually roughly around roughly around 10 years old. APEL is only around 10 years old here in Malaysia. Okay, now what are the basic policies for APEL A? Let's start with APEL A. Now, why I need to talk about APEL A even we don't offer? Because most of your questions and queries will be for APEL A. I can guarantee you that. Because a lot of people think that APEL is only for N3. Okay, so it is not only for that. Okay, so that is why I need to talk a little bit about APEL A. Now, APEL A policy, program at master's degree level. Now, APEL A, for if you want to enter into a master's or degree level, which is tahap 7, you need to be a Malaysian citizen or an expatriate working in Malaysia, an expatriate family members, at least 30 years of age in the year of application. You cannot be a 25-year-old person, so the entry requirement needs to be at least 30 years of age, possess at least STPM, diploma or equivalent qualification. At least a STPM or the diploma. So A levels is also okay. A levels is also okay. Okay. Possess relevant work experience and pass APEL A assessment for master's degree level. So when this person wants to do a master's, you meet this person during counseling in education fair. Say blah 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 blah. I want to do masters. I am now a factory manager. Blah 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 and so on. So these are the key things that we ask them lah. If they have, say okay, yeah, you can apply on the website. Just go online and apply. Okay. Now for then, because always remember, APEL A is applied through MQA, not us, MQA. But a lot of them, they will still come to us. Why? Because in their mind, in students' mind, I found out, even though on our website, it clearly states, for those who apply for APEL A, please go to the website. We are only an APEL C center. For them, APEL is APEL is APEL. So if UOW say they are an APEL center, they can do everything. That is their general impression, which is not. Okay, so for bachelor's degree, Malaysian citizen, blah, 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 same thing. More than 21 years of age in the year of application, possess relevant work experience. See, relevant work experience. Now, did they say must have SPM or not? Did they say must have SRP? No, no. So anybody can apply if they meet this criteria over there. Apply and get is a different story. Apply is just to do the process of application go through. You can apply and fail, So please take note. You can even apply and go through the test and fail. Very slim lah, but that can happen also. Okay. Now you see the picture. I believe we know of friends, we know of colleagues, we have heard of people who are now in a middle managerial or junior managerial level, and because their career have been stunted due to the fact that they don't have formal education, they don't have that paper. Okay, so this allows them lah. This allows them. Okay, and then of course we have for diploma and of course for certificate. Okay, now these are all these are all the different levels that students can enter if they are applying to go to a diploma. These are the requirements. They go through the process itself. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay, good. Okay, so now like that. Now, I can assure you most of your questions, most of your applicants or come and talk to you is here, these two, master's and bachelor degree. Master's and bachelor degree. Okay. Okay, next. So, description of learner's competency. The required competency for APEL A assessment are guided by the MQF clusters of learning outcome. Now, I want to take a pause there. If you remember MQF, they are clusters. How many clusters? 5 clusters. There, 5 clusters. Okay, 5 clusters. You break it down, it's 11 subcluster. So when you talk about what APEL A is, APEL A actually assesses that person at that level, whether they are competent to study or to go forward to a program in that particular level, meeting that 5 clusters. If you see the MQF version 2, okay, you know the MQF document, at the back, they got very clearly state for diploma level, what they must achieve, for degree level, what they must achieve, for master's level, what they must achieve. Do you all know this? Yes or no? If you've seen the MQF document, all right, at the back, there is a jadwal. They say diploma, they must have knowledge, this and that, and so on. Under individual clusters, what they must achieve. For degree, what they must achieve. Okay? Understand? Give me a second. Just give me a second. Sorry, HR needed something. Okay. So now remember the MQF. Sorry. Ah, ah, sorry, I have to run here and there. Sometimes I have to settle certain things when the staff needs help. Okay, so as we are saying, if you look at the MQF document, every single level diploma, degree, and whatnot, they have the clusters and what must achieve. So when you talk about APEL A, what the government will assess or what the MQA will assess on the staff is also the same. Let's say they're assessing me, I apply for APEL A to go into masters. And what is required in masters is this thing, application part and so on. So their assessment is to assess whether I will be capable in doing that, whether I will be capable in doing that requirements as per the MQF. They are not assessing whether I've already achieved it. Achieve is when you go into the masters. They will assess my capability, whether I can achieve that or not, my possibility of achieving. So that is what it is. Okay. Okay, so that is called description on learner's competency. In APEL A, that is what they do. Because this is quite a normal question. Sometimes our prospective students will ask, I want to join your master, but I need to apply APEL A first. So they ask, what is in APEL A, and so on. So those basically you can tell them it assesses your ability to achieve that level of study, your ability. Because if they assess your ability and based on your result, they find that you will not be able to achieve that level of masters, for example, if what you're applying for, then it will be unethical for them to give you or allow you to enter the master's program if they know that you cannot make it because you may not have that ability to do it. You get it, huh? Okay, so that is what the APEL A is, how the assessment is. Okay, so what is the APEL A instrument? Now, instrument is like this. Basically, there are three parts here. We have aptitude tests, we have portfolio, and we have interview. Depending on what level you do, these are the assessment. Okay, now, example, now subject to change. This is subject to change. Okay, so assessment instrument, level of qualification. So what we have, bachelor degree. If you want to apply for bachelor degree, you only have aptitude test 30%, portfolio 70%. Master's degree, aptitude test 40, 50, and 10. What is this aptitude test? I have a colleague who has gone through this process. Okay, so over in UG, we have students who gone through APEL A to join program. So I have students, I have a colleague. Now, this aptitude test, she told me what she went through was something like general paper. General paper. So they got questions on mathematics, questions on Malaysia. And I can quite assure you some of the questions we also cannot answer, like Suku Negara, how many states, and so on. Sometimes we also tend to forget right now, but this is their aptitude test, very generic questions. Okay, language and whatnot. Now, then they have a portfolio. Portfolio is very important. Portfolio is a documentation of your process, what you have gone through. Now, portfolio guidelines are given by MQA. MQA have a very clear set of guidelines that you just have to, the candidate just have to follow. First part about education, second part, blah, 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 experience, and so on. The thing that they need is bukti, evidence. If you say you are general manager of Hilton Kuala Lumpur today, if you say you are the general manager, you need a certain proof that you are the general manager. The guidelines are there. They may say surat dari majikan, photographs, and so on and whatnot and whatnot. Okay, but evidence is important. That is what they are looking at. Okay, for master's degree, you also need interview. You need interview because remember when we talk about assessment, the 5 classes, master's degree is more synthesis. Synthesis. We not only do we want to apply knowledge, we want to create knowledge, we want to justify knowledge. So for you to justify knowledge, the interview process is important to speak to the individual. Okay, understand? So this is the assessment method. Okay. Now, who does this assessment? Not us, huh? MQA. MQA does this. Now, application procedure, application form is through MQA website. Very easy. They just have to click this website. Once they click, they will go in. Once they go in already, then everything is inside there. They just have to follow step by step. What discipline? What do you want to do? And so on and so on and so on. Then from there, everything MQA will communicate with the student. MQA will communicate with the student. Okay, so application is payable, okay, blah, blah, blah. Degree and certificate 150, certificate and diploma 155, degree 250, master's 370. Okay, so this is the payment that the individual will need to pay for them to go through this assessment process. All right, understand? Now, how long will the assessment be? It varies. It varies. As short as 6 weeks, as long as 3 months, depending on your schedule. Sometimes, if you will need to go to the place itself, different times, if whether you can or not, and so on. But overall, we have gone through numerous people who have gone through APEL A. The success rate is high. Okay, why is the success rate high? Because as what you see earlier on, the education blueprint, government wants to encourage individuals to study. So they actually make this way to allow them to study. Okay, so far success rate has been quite high. Okay, now subject, of course, everything what we do is we always tell a candidate now, always remember, if you speak to your candidates, speak to your students, then, or speak to your prospective students, tell them APEL A, don't take your word as the final say. Please go to the website. Please go to the MQA official website. APEL, click, go, all information is there, or ask them to call MQA itself. Okay, because in the past 24 months, there have been changes in the website, changes in policy, because during the MCO time, the government wanted to encourage people who are sitting at home to study. All right, so they have actually even reduced the price of application. However, those things change on a monthly or a half yearly basis. So is tell the candidate, look, go to the website, apply there. Once you get your cert, come back to us. Once you get your cert, come back to us. Okay. So that is on APEL A. All right. Later, after the break, I will show you sample of the cert that the student will get. The sample actually clearly states what level that the person can go into. Okay. For degree, it is what level. With your cert, you can go into any degree program. But for masters, please take note, very clear, it states level and discipline. If you apply for APEL A in business studies for masters, tahap 7 business. Suddenly after applying, you get your cert, you want to do engineering, tak boleh. Because your cert clearly states tahap 7 bidang pengurusan, business. You cannot go into engineering. So for us, our side, our marketing people are very good. When they get the cert already, they actually look, this one is dalam a business. Okay, so memang cannot. Alright, even checking with MQA, dan say tak boleh. This one is very discipline based. So if hospitality. So the individual, the candidate needs to be sure what masters they want to do first before they go for the APEL assessment. Okay, for masters. For degree and below, no issue. Degree and below, they will say entry into tahap 6. They never say what bidang. So after you do your APEL, you can masuk degree in engineering, degree in business, anything also can. Okay? Faham, Understand, So that is APEL A. Okay? Most of your questions you get APEL A. Okay? Now we have APEL C. APEL C is where we are the APEL C center. Okay, we are the APEL C center. To be an APEL C center, we went through the process similar to, as stringent as when we get provisional accreditation for the program. We submit documents, audit is done, we have to go to MQA and so on. Okay, so it is exactly the same. Okay, so we are an APEL C center. Being an APEL C center, we are allowed to conduct APEL C in our institution. Okay. Now, APEL C is for students who enter through APEL A or conventional route, so no issue. APEL C is open to all students, whether you're APEL A students, whether you're conventional route, and so on. All right. Now, who implements APEL C? Higher educational providers, us, UOW Malaysia KDU, approved by MQA. So MQA give us cert, say we are an APEL C center. Now, what is assessed in FLC? Always remember, C is for credit transfer. Okay, credit transfer. Credit transfer is always cost related. Cost. Always remember that is program. Program is the whole program. Bachelor in Hospitality Management is called a program. In that program, there are numerous courses. Okay, we have like 30 courses or subjects, that's what you will call it. APEL C is only for subject related, individual course related. So it is important for me to state now these two terms, exemption and credit transfer. What is the difference, guys? What is the difference between exemption and credit transfer? You guys all experts, you all should know. Alicia, what's the difference? Any idea? Mr. Kiat? Credit transfer is counted, yes. Is okay counted. Exemption, no lah. Exemption may not be. Exemption means you no need to do marketing, but the credit you still need to attain. Correct, Phew. Okay, very good. Now, this term is very important. Why? Let me advise you all something. In the market, people use the word CT and exemptions interchangeably, and sometimes confuse people, Basically, credit transfer is I attain the credits, no need to do big. I achieve certain things, a certain level, I attain the credits without grade. 3 credit goes into my program. Exemption is we can give, students say, a student can be exempted from certain courses or subject. However, it is not credit transferred. That means the credits need to be attained from another source. If they don't attain that credits from another source or somewhere else on electives or whatnot, then the student will not be able to graduate because they will be short of credits. Now, different institution may call it differently. I don't want to quote them. Some institution, for them, exemption could be credit transfer. Okay, so I do not want to quote them. However, it is important for us in our context to understand that. So APEL C is credit transfer. So we need to state clearly it's credit transfer. Now, maximum credits that they can apply for APEL C is 30%, guys. 30%, which is brilliant from informal and non-formal learning. Okay, so I can get credit transfer of 30%. So that is a lot. For a degree of 120 credits, I can apply for 36 credits. 36 credits is 30%. Correct? Understand? Okay, but must go through the process lah. Okay, now, so when we look into credit transfer in this context, we now understand. Some of you will be asking, okay, but we have students from diploma go to degree also get 30% or 50% ma. Yes, so this is how I explain to you. Credit transfer for formal learning in today's aspect is 50%. I hope you all know. C grade and above is 30%, B grade and above is 20%. So it's actually 50% credit transfer. Dari diploma ke degree adalah 50%. However, individual discipline, school or program have their own authority to not give that 50%. Certain schools will say that, my school maximum 30%. It's up to you. But MQA allows for 50%. Understand? How many of your schools doing 50%? Got or not? Actually can, MQA allowed for 50%, or disciplines, Okay, number one. So, if formal learning is already 50%, non-formal or APEL C is 30%, 50 campur 30 adalah 80%. No, no such thing lah. If it's 80%, better the students don't need to come and study. Okay, so MQA has set this regulation. Formal plus non-formal plus informal learning, that means your normal program, formal learning, and your APEL C maximum 60%. Maximum 60%. So if a student under formal learning sudah 50%, you see my cursor here, then for APEL C, they can apply 10% sahaja. If the student under formal learning only 20%, only 20% maximum, then formal, non-formal and informal FLC masih 30%. You cannot make it as 40% to make it 60. No, maximum is still 30. So it's 20 plus 30 that student will get a maximum of 50% credit transfer. Now you see the benefit over there? Picture this scenario. Picture this scenario. I working, I got my diploma. I have my diploma in hospitality. After that, I went to work in a hotel. Brilliant person. Okay, let's say okay, brilliant person. Do very well, climb the ladder, do everything very good. Then after 4 years, I come back to study. I say, I want to do my degree now. Okay, so diploma to degree, credit transfer, no problem lah. Maximum 50%. Okay, then I say, I look at the subject for the degree, got human resources, got costing, and so on. I show to them, look, hotel school, my experience is when I was working in the hotel, I was the resident manager. I was the fastest climbing resident manager. Resident manager is at number 2 from the general manager. So I did costing, I do hiring of staff. I overlook the whole hotel in many things. So I find the subject in degree called human resources, called costing. This one, I think I want to apply for APEL C. I want to apply. So can they can apply lah. Maximum 30%. So this person, like me, after doing, let's say, formal learning already maximum 50, I will then advise the student, you already got formal learning sudah 50%. You were a very good student in diploma. So for your APEL, you are only allowed to apply for 10%. 10%. So if it's 120 credits, 10%, 12 credits. 12 credits, if it's a 3-credit subject, 4 subjects. So the student can apply for 4 subjects lah, maximum lah. You get it, so this is what APEL C is, credit transfer. Now, please take note, it is done by individual subjects and courses. It is not a lump sum. So students need to apply for human resources, go through the assessment, everything, then marketing, if they want to apply, and so on. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Ken? Okay, see, I have to double. Okay, all right, now I give you one exact example. In hotel school, I have one colleague who had only SPM. However, she was working in a 5-star hotel for many years. She was the pastry chef in a 5-star hotel. Okay, so she went through APEL A. She can go in to do the degree in hospitality. Okay, degree in culinary. So in degree in culinary, she looks into the subject. There were many pastry subjects and cooking subjects. So she applied for her APEL C there. Because she came in from APEL A, she did not have a diploma. What happened is she did not get credit transfer for formal learning. No credit transfer, no diploma. So what happened is she only applied for APEL C, so maximum credits that she could apply for will be 30%. So she applied full 30%. Now, she applied full 30%, so every semester in her studies here, her degree is longer because she's part-time, 4 years. So every semester or nearly every silang semester, she will apply for one APEL C. Apply. So apply assessment, and so on. Now she's applying for, if I'm not wrong, 8 subjects, 7 or 8 subjects. She has done nearly 6, pending 1 more. She hasn't completed her studies yet, going to complete, but 1 more. You see, that is how it is. All right. Now, for international students, international students can apply for APEL C also, exactly the same. Understand? Okay. Now, implementation policy of APEL C. These are the things we are going to cover. General policy, award of credit, implementation process. APEL C, Malaysia and international students. So all students lah, all students. So basically, registered with HEP. Students need to register with us before they can apply for APEL C. Now, regardless of mode of entry, formal or APEL. APEL C, prior experiential learning, non-formal and informal for the purpose of credit award. Okay, all areas and levels of MQF. APEL C, all areas and levels. How many levels, guys? Can remember or not? MQF ada berapa tahap? Tahap 1 sampai tahap berapa? 6, 5, 4. No, MQF ada 8 tahap. 1, 2, 3 sertifikat. 4 diploma. Okay, 5 higher diploma, 6 degree, 7 master, 8 PhD. Okay, jangan lupa. I think what you all was thinking is the cluster. Cluster ada 5. That is the outcomes, learning outcome clusters. Okay, don't worry. Now, for postgraduate programs, limited to only courses in programs conducted via coursework and mixed mode. Now, student cannot apply APEL C for research base because research base got no credit. If you are doing a PhD, totally research, you cannot apply for APEL C. Please take note, because research got no credit. Okay, now, if it is mixed mode or coursework, can. Doctorate, DBA in business management. If that institution is an APEL C institution, the taught subjects can. The research subjects cannot. Please take note, research subject cannot. Students cannot apply APEL C for final year project or dissertation because that is not a taught subject. That is research based, cannot. Okay, now, HEP intending to implement APEL C, approval from MQA and comply to APEL C policies. So for us, we have approval from MQA and we follow the policy lah. Now, APEL C, APEL C is open to all programs approved by ministry and obtain at least PA from MQA. PA stands for provisional accreditation. So what we are looking at here is APEL C is open to all programs. Okay, but must have minimum PA lah. So you don't have to worry. All our programs in Penang and UG, of course, got PA mah. Minimum also PA. So you don't have to worry. It's only FA. PA is okay. Okay. Now, APEL C, credit transfer without grade and not credit exemption. So it's credit transfer, bukan exemption. Okay. Now, courses that form part of the program structure under professional bodies may be considered for APEL C, however, subject to acceptance by relevant professional bodies. Now, I give you an example. School of Engineering. School of Engineering, their programs are regulated by the Engineering Board. Okay, accredited by the Engineering Board. Because it is accredited by the Engineering Board, if students want to apply for APEL C for those, bukan tak boleh, must have approval from the accreditation or accrediting board. That means engineering board will need to say yes or no. Okay, please take note. Engineering board must say yes or no, can or cannot. In another note, let's say business school of business. School of business, your degree in business management got 36 subjects inside there. Okay, degree, it is the school's prerogative to dictate which one can apply for FLC, which one cannot apply. If the head of school, Dr. Brian, says, for these 3 subjects, nobody can apply for FLC, even though they have experience, even though they have anything, the fundamental. Example, introduction to human resources, to marketing, and to finance, let's say, then it is the school's prerogative. MQA got no say. The school dictates what can apply or what cannot apply. Okay? Hotel school allows for all subjects to apply for APEL C, no problem, because hotel school, there's no issue. But so far, all our schools that we have spoken to, all the heads, say no problem, can. But engineering school is the only one that say that they cannot say yes to any student until they get green light from the engineering board. Okay, now some of your schools are now regulated by different boards. All right, now because it is regulated by different boards, then the head of school will need to decide. Or the PL will need to decide on how it actually go. So I see some question here. Professional bodies, yes. Okay, so it's up to the HOS, yes, because this is a strategic decision. This is a strategic or a school-related decision. The head of school will actually decide on what are the courses in the program that they allowed for APEL C application. Or is it up in policy? No, it is not in the policy. It's dictated by the school because it is regulated. Now, professional body, but you're talking about professional body, mean yes. If your course is regulated by a professional body, you must get professional body's green light before you can say a student can apply for FLC. Okay. Would it be documented? So different has different approvals. Yes, different school have different approvals. I know hotel school, all the courses can apply for FLC. Business school, so far, all the courses also can. But engineering school, I've spoken to the heads over here, explaining to them this policy. They said they cannot say yes until they get green light from engineering board. So honestly speaking, okay, based on what I hear, engineering board is so strict in regulation that the chances of engineering board, the chances of them giving the green light is very low. So far, School of Engineering did not or have not had any students applying for FLC. All right, so we did not go through the process. But I spoke to the heads. They say, well, it's very stringent. They will foresee a lot of challenges. Okay, all right. So that is where the challenge is. So you look at this statement here. This is taken from MQA. HEP, they put the response, we are responsible for securing such approvals. So they say, it's up to you. If your professional body say okay, okay. If not okay, it's up to you. It's them. So we are the one is responsible for getting the approval. Okay. Now I understand there are more schools having are having different professional bodies now. So it's important for you all to check on this and speak to your head of school whether they would want to go ahead or how would they want to go about this. Okay. Yes. Now, award of credit through FLC cannot be transferred automatically to another program. So if you get FLC, you join program A, after you get FLC, it doesn't mean you can transfer to program B. No, you need to see the minimum 80% LO of the 2 courses. All right, same thing. Then it is internally, what we do is we can then recognize this over. Okay, value of credit to FLC equivalent to the credit value of the course applied for. So let's say student applying for finance, 3 credits. So once they pass FLC assessment, they will get that 3 credits off. Okay. Credits awarded for a course is applicable to the specific course applied for. Credits are not automatically applicable to prerequisites. Please take note. Finance 1, Finance 2. Student apply for Finance 2 FLC. Pass. Got credit transfer for Finance 2. That doesn't mean Finance 1. They are also automatically exempted or what you call, automatically credit transfer. No, it is separate. Every course or subject is seen as an individual subject, as a standalone. You may get credit transfer for a higher level subject, but if you didn't apply for the lower level subject, you will still need to do. You will still need to do. Even if the lower level subject was the prerequisite to the higher level subject. That is how the rules are. Okay, so no questions on that one. You only get CT for the subject or course that you apply for. Okay. Separate assessment for each course. Credit award cannot be granted on the block basis. Let's say you have finance 1, 2, and 3. Individual subjects, 3 credit, 3 credit, 3 credit. You cannot do one assessment for all. Cannot. It is individual. That is called separate assessment for each course. Okay. For all courses except project or dissertation, and then executive diploma, you don't have to worry. We are not offering it anymore. So you need not worry about that. Okay. Now, another thing I need to tell you, let's say students look into the finance syllabus. They say, sir, I look at this finance syllabus. There are 4 CLO. Can I apply for 2 CLO only? No such thing. It is the whole course. No such thing as applying for half the course, 1 credit out of 4 or 2 credits out of 4. No such thing. It is the whole course. Okay. All right. Now, implementation process, comply to garis panduan the document, transparent, equitable, and evidence-based. In APEL-C, a lot of it is based on evidence, bukti. Students apply for APEL-C before registering for the relevant course. So what is like this? Students join the program. Students must apply for APEL-C for that course before they register for the course. They cannot register for the course, study halfway, lazy, don't want to study. Then say, sir, I want to apply for APEL-C. Cannot. Okay, they need to do it before. Number 1. Number 2, I go to education fair. I'm doing counseling. I go to the business school. I speak to them. I say, hey, I have many years. I have done a lot of informal and non-formal learning on business studies. I am now the finance manager of Intel, okay, blah, 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 and whatnot. I want to join your degree program and I want to apply for APEL-C. Can you tell me how many credits I can guarantee get for APEL-C? You cannot answer the student. You cannot say, oh, based on your experience, I can guarantee you 30 credits before the student sign in. Cannot. You can only speak to the student, yes, we have APEL-C. Yes, this is the process of application. But no, I cannot guarantee that you will get. Why? There's no guarantee. It's assessment based. If student fail lah. You see what I'm trying to say? So you cannot guarantee. You cannot use it as a marketing tool to sign in students by guaranteeing them credit transfer based on their experience. You can say, yes, you have a lot of experience. Yes, you can apply for APEL-C. Yes, this looks good, but you cannot guarantee the credits. Okay, please take note of that. Students need to decide of joining the program based on their understanding that they have to go through an assessment process and it is not guaranteed. Okay. Now, courses awarded with APEL-C. If a student already taken APEL-C assessment and they pass, in the transcript, they will have CT APEL. Currently, our transcript, if you have seen our student got credit transfer, right, on top, right? I think, yeah, it should be on top, starting of the transcript. Same thing. If it's APEL 1, you will see CTA. All right. Not taken into account into calculations of GPA, CGPA. They get the credit, you don't count the CGPA. Credits counted towards the total credit required for graduation. MQS a supplementary document. Every student that graduates with APEL-C will be given a Malaysian qualification statement, MQS. And MQS is like a living cert. Living cert, not living cert. Now, it is something that when we were in our secondary school, when we graduate, we leave, we got our transcript. And we also have this person's behavior, what kind and so on and whatnot. So all APEL students will also get this MQS. The general document is very fixed. It is signed by registrar. So we have already issued one student graduate with APEL C at Selangor. Who signs it? Mr. Shankar signs it. Mr. Shankar is the one that signs it because it needs to be signed by the registrar, not me. Okay. Now, students who fail APEL C assessment for the course applied for will have to complete the course through the usual process. You apply for finance, APEL C, you go through the process, you fail, you have to take the normal course. No such thing as you can appeal, but the application, let's say you fail in the application process, then you need to do the course. You need to do the subject in the normal way, the normal duration. Pay full fees, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we will keep complete records. We will keep records of the student. Over here in the FLC Center, which is actually the TLC office, we have an area where we keep our applications of our applicants who have gone through the process. What are the evidence? So when anybody want to come and do audit, open, see, this is what we have done. This is what we have done. The students have gone through. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Now, the next question. The next process. Process an FLC instrument. How does this FLC take place? How does it go? Let's say Kiat has a student who wants to apply. How does it go? Okay, now very straightforward. So, briefing process of students' application. First thing, it's called pre-application. Pre-application. Student know about FLC, haven't applied yet. Students shouldn't apply until they are briefed. So, bring students to us. We will brief the student on what FLC is. This is called briefing. Okay, so pre-application before the student apply, briefing. Then here will be here we will have the advisor. We will have the assessment mode. We explain to the student that the student, you will have an advisor. An advisor will be a person from the school. That person will advise the student on subject that they are supposed to apply. I cannot advise student because I'm not subject discipline. I cannot advise about computing or engineering and so on. I cannot. Okay, advisor must always be discipline expert. Okay, so that's advisor. Then we explain to the student assessment mode, how you will be assessed. We will also explain to the student the cost involved in FLC. If the student say, okay, sir, set, I want to apply, then the student will go through the application process. The first thing that the student will do is a self-assessment. The advisor and the assessor, there's an assessor, will actually come out with, there is a template, they will come out with a question. The question is to identify why the student want to apply for this subject. Okay, for APEL. So the question must be related to that subject and the LO. So students need to demonstrate, to explain what experience they have done or what is it and so on and whatnot. That's why they want to apply for this. Under the self-assessment here, there are fixed templates that we already have. So you no need to worry. We got template A, template B, template C. So students will need to fill up what are the evidence that they have done this. But the question that the student need to do, because it is discipline related, is done by the advisor, which is the school, the person from the school itself. Okay. So after that, when the student do the essay already, it's a 500-word essay, must be 500 words. Then the advisor read the essay. Here, the advisor will then decide, student can apply or cannot apply. Many students may want to apply, but after asking them about the LOs, whether they have done, after when they have returned, the advisor can tell the student, I'm sorry, you don't meet, based on my understanding, based on the LO, you don't even meet basic understanding about this subject. So my advice is don't waste your money. Don't apply. So student, settle lah. Thank you, sir, very much. Okay. If they want to apply, they have decided even with the advice of the advisor, students say, yes, sir, I want, I think I can, go ahead. But there's cost element. Then it is the formal application. All right, students will apply. This is it. Okay, now, next slide. Application for each subject or course is RM200. RM200 is a very minimal fee for the whole process. My briefing, advisors briefing, assessments, and so on. If the student pass the APEL assessment, if they want credit transfer, it is RM500. Yeah, you may think it's daylight robbery. No, it's not. It's like that. So, student already passed APEL. Yes, sir, I already passed my APEL already for this subject finance. I want to apply for credit transfer. I want to apply for CT. It is RM500 per subject. It means, however it is still cheaper than taking the subject. And of course, your duration will be, your benefit is on time lah. All right, you don't need to go for classes and so on. But this is the cost behind it. Okay. Now, how are the instruments? What are the instruments? How do we assess students? Example, business school got a student want to apply for finance or accounting. Let's make it accounting is easiest. If you look into accounting, you look into the CLO of the accounting paper. What is the best method to assess a student? Guys, accounting, what is the best method to assess student? Guys, if you want to assess students in the subject or the course of accounting, what's the best method of assessment? Is it a presentation? Yes or no? Nah, I don't think it's presentation, right? Written, yes. Good, Alicia, you are correct. It is an exam, all right? Presentation may not be the best. Oral presentation, no. Written assignment, no. So it is an exam. It is written exam lah. Now, what if it is pastry? If I want to assess students' competency in the subject called pastry, what method? Written? Written, no, right? Right now, you want the student explain how to make a Black Forest cake. You explain first thing you do. It doesn't show anything, right now. Okay. So when we talk about pastry, yes, demonstration, bake a cake, or what you call a practical assessment. Okay. However, you can also mix them. It can be a demonstration, a practical test. After that, a presentation where the person presents the cake and explain what's so unique about the cake. So it is a practical test and a presentation. But what I was trying to say is this: different subjects will have different methods of assessment. And how does this come from? It comes from the LO, the CLO. The CLO dictates the assessment method. All of your subjects, you have your CLO in your table 4. So the assessment methods are there. And you use the CLO, will guide you on your assessment method. So under FLC instruments, you can do a challenge test. The word challenge test means all kinds of methods. Written test, oral test, presentation, product assessment, simulation, demonstrations, practical tests, and so on. Anything. And or portfolio. Students can also do portfolio and do an interview. Now, what kind of subjects do you think the assessment will be portfolio and interview? This is see who can answer me. What kind of subjects that the students that we will use a portfolio and an interview to do assessment? What kind of subjects? Come on, guys. Accounting easy, written. Pastry easy, demonstration, practical. What about portfolio? Guys, what do you think? What do you think? Mari. Come on, guys. This is important. This is for us to think. Designing, very good. I have Alicia who says design. Yes. something that is maybe something to do that has in relation to creativity, something to do in relation to progression long term. This is my flow of work that I have done over the years. You see, I am the designer of this. These are the work that I've done. Then the interview to interview that person, because you want to justify that thing that have been done correctly. Okay, so that is portfolio. So these are the choices. It can be atau or dengan, or dengan. Okay, but got portfolio, you must have interview. Depending on suitability with course content. So you choose. Now, who choose? Do I choose? Not me. Advisor and assessor choose. Subject expert. Business school will choose which assessment method is the best. I got no say because I'm not subject expert. Hotel school, the hotel school will choose what is the assessment method. I will be there to validate. To make sure that it is the correct method, to make sure that they have chosen, but I will not decide. I will question, why is this method the best method? Why? So here in UG, I will do. Over in Penang, Melissa will do. Okay, understand? Now, basic principles of assessment. We are evaluating CLO. Table 4 got 4 CLO. Every CLO must achieve 50% minimum. Then the student pass APEL. If CLO 1, 90%, CLO 2, 90%, CLO 3, 49%. 49 is below 50. Student fail APEL because did not achieve one CLO. Student must achieve all CLO. So please take note on that. Very important. Okay, so students learning meet requirements. Every CLO must be 50% and above. Okay, all right. Now, so this is the quality. What we do over here, we have our infrastructure. We do monitoring, assessment, instruments, and so on. So this is the general flow. So we have start learning here. Advisor, the APEL-C advisor will speak to the students. Learner undertakes self-assessment exercise. If is eligible, learner submits APEL-C application form and fees. Okay, so they will do the exercise. Here, the exercise here will be, here the self-assessment exercise will be the 500-word question on that subject and why they're applying for it, and also a form to tick whether the student got evidence or not on their application. So if eligible, yes. If no, immediately toing, all the way sayonara. Tell the learner you don't even pass the assessment. You're not eligible. Bye-bye. You can say we have the authority. Okay. If yes, learner submits APEL-C application form and fees, then learner will do assessment. The assessment can take challenge test and or portfolio. Then the grades come out. If it is pass, endorsed by academic board, and credits awarded, notification to learner. If fail, pass, no, they can appeal. Okay, now, the whole process is as stringent as how we do our normal exam. That means under challenge test or portfolio submission and interview, we will inform exam board, exam department. Exam department will go to the room, will put the poster, please keep silent, exam in progress, everything exactly the same. For portfolio submission, there's an interview. We will also record the interview, but it is P&C. It will not be given. It's only kept by APEL-C Center. Why are we doing this? MQA, sometimes they do audit. They want bukti. So this is the bukti lah. Okay, so if it's challenge test, it is like a normal exam hall, time, everything exactly the same. Once it is here, if it's student pass, you will go through UCAB, School Assessment Board, SAB. SAB will be checked by APEL Center with the school involved. So if this group of students are business school, so I will get the business school head or business school PL to come in for the School Assessment Board. Once it goes through, I will then present in Senate. Once Senate goes through, validated, automatically the results are finalized. Then what we will do is we will tell the student, student, you pass. Student can go into the system. They can print out their notification or result. They take that notification result, is written there at APEL C Center. They take that, they go to their school and apply for credit transfer. Once they apply for credit transfer there, then they pay the 500 ringgit, then they will get credit transfer, CT. So that subject no need to do lah. Okay. Visualize it is exactly the same process as how a student coming in from Taylor, Sunway, and so on, they will apply for credit transfer. The only thing is there's a cost element towards it, but it is exactly the same. So APEL C Center is regarded as an external entity. So we have our own transcript one. We have an APEL C Center. See, I will sign it off at the bottom. So it is like you take that, you give to the school, I mean individual department, they will process it as a credit transfer. That is how it is done. Now, so far we have 3 students here, APEL C. 1 already graduate, 1 in the process, 1 already a student, but have not gone through the APEL C process. But this gentleman will definitely, because he's a very, very experienced person. Okay, so that is the process. Any questions, guys? Okay, now, basically, the roles, what are the roles? We have this thing called advisor. Advisor, a staff who advises the learner on the preparation and submission of FLC application. Advisor is a person from the school. Okay, so if we are looking at the school, my first thing I will do is this. Once the school actually say that let's say there's a student that wants to apply for FLC in the business school, comes to me. I tell the student what FLC is. Students know about it. I will go to the head straight away. I'll tell, hey, Brian, I have a student wants to apply for FLC. Being the head of department, head of school, he will then appoint an advisor. He will say, example, he will say, Siti, you will be the advisor. So this person will now advise the student on the subjects in the program and speak to the students and get feedback from the students. Okay, so that is called the advisor. Now, then we also have the assessor. The assessor is a person that will assess the student in the particular course. This person must be a subject expert. Advisor, generic, normally program leader or ADH. Assessor must be subject expert who can assess the student on that particular discipline. It could be finance, it could be business, and so on. You cannot put a finance lecturer to assess students in, let's say, business marketing, for example, if it's not their discipline, because the assessor will set the assessment question, will find the method of assessment. Then we have one more. Mana tu? Hilang. Okay. It's called the moderator. I think that slide is in the way. I'm so sorry. It's called the moderator. Moderator is like second marker. There must always be a moderator. So if assessor is me, I come up with the exam paper, and let's say Sujata is the moderator. She must be of the same discipline as me, and she will moderate the question. And she will moderate the question to see that what I have said will meet the CLOs. She will moderate my assessment method. Let's say I want the students to do exam and presentation. She will look at it and say, okay, Gabe, your questions or your method is good. It will meet CLO. That is the moderator. During the interview, if I have an interview with the student, she needs to be there to sit down to make sure that it is done properly. It is like the second marker like that. That's called the moderator. Okay, that one is a very important person. So advisor, assessor, and moderator is from the school. Okay, from the school itself. Awards for credit. This one actually certain things came out here. This is the maximum credit 30%, which I've actually spoken to you all about already. Credit award. Okay, so this is actually quite straightforward. This is something that I covered earlier on, and I just put here base. This is actually taken from the exact guidebook. Okay, so need not worry. Later when you get the slides, you can just have a read. So basically, I think, are you guys quite clear now on what APEL C is? Okay, yes or no? So clear, we have APEL A, we have APEL C. Kebanyakan of the people apply the inquiry. I've got many inquiries. I can safely say 1 month. Okay lah, I'm not saying every day. 1 month, maybe dua lah. 2 inquiries through email or through phone. And out of 20, 19 is APEL A. Most of the people ask for APEL A. And now we know, can we do APEL A? Yes or no? Can the student apply APEL A through us? Yes or no? Boleh ke tak? A ya, APEL A. No, good. No, cannot. APEL A cannot. Always remember. Now, APEL A must apply to who? Siapa yang proses APEL A? MQA, very good. MQA, through website MQA. Okay. Students come during counseling, want to do program, we tell APEL A, ask them to go to MQA straight away. Apply. They will come with a cert. With that cert, can join our program. Now, APEL C, what is the maximum peratus that the student can apply for APEL C? Percentage of credits, maximum. C, touching. Wrong. Alicia, wrong. It is not 60. APEL C uni I'm talking about. APEL C. Madhavi, come on. C, cacing. Wrong, not 50%. Get not 10%, 30%, 30%. Guys, it's 30%. Yes, Baki is 30%. Closes. No such thing as closes. You miss an inch, you miss a mile. It's the same. Always remember, APEL C credit transfer is 30%. Okay? Formal entry of student, dengar tu, formal entry from diploma to degree is 50%. Okay? But together, formal entry, flow through, and APEL C is not 50 and not 80, but 60. Maximum a student can get is 60. Okay? 60 is formal plus APEL. If APEL alone is 30 maximum. Formal alone is 50 maximum. Okay? So this is penting. Okay. A lot of information in one day. Okay, so basically that is what APEL A and C is. Q I don't want to touch. Let's not confuse us. We don't talk about Q. Okay, Q is qualifications. So for us, we are only an APEL C center. Okay, so we only can assist and guide if students ask about APEL A. Now, recently, I've been getting more inquiries from hospitality discipline. Hospitality discipline. I think the hotels now, a lot of restaurants are starting to open. More people are coming in, they're getting more staff. So they are trying to motivate their staff by giving them not only remuneration on salary, but also on career development. So that is why we are also getting inquiries from hotels to say, what if, how does it go and whatnot. Okay, so COVID period was a little bit slow. Now we see things are slowly picking it up already. Okay, and there is a market. There is, okay, on this itself. But majority, their main concern is on APEL A. It is the A part of it. All right. Okay, let me just have a look. Let me just try to, I will just stop sharing for a short while. The reason is I want to show you a sample of a cert. Okay, just to, let me just see. Cert degree, ada. I'm going to opening, sekejap. Ini certificate, cert master. Okay. Okay, my screen tak jalan. Okay. Okay, Okay, sorry, I didn't share. Now I'm going to share it back again. Okay, can see, Now, You see MQA telah lulus penilaian penggraduation APEL dengan itu ijazah sarjana muda, dengan itu penama di atas which we already got rid of adalah layak untuk dipertimbangkan bagi kemasukan ke program peringkat ijazah sarjana muda tahap 6. Think, understand See, this is degree. That means student do assessment, after do already, they will get this lah. Once they get this, we can accept. We no need to worry. Institution can accept this already. This is an official document. No certificate, cannot accept. Student can hue and cry, I already passed, I already this and that, but we cannot take them in officially until we see the cert. Now, close this. Now, this is another one. Telah lulus, same thing. Dengan itu, penama di atas adalah layak untuk dipertimbangkan bagi kemasukan ke program peringkat ijazah sarjana tahap 7, masters. Masters got bidang. You see, got bidang. Pengurusan dan penjagaan. Got bidang. Why? Because for master student, their assessment that they do for APEL is specific to discipline. Very specific. If you're applying APEL A entry for engineering and another person applying for business, the assessment is different. Engineering will be more on maths, will be more on this related to that discipline, whereas business will be different, maybe more on cognitive skills and so on. I don't know, okay? But it is different. That is why they have this thing called bidang. Also, based on your bidang, your assessment center is different. Maybe MQA will do the business one. They will send you to maybe UITM or UTM, depending on where you are, to do the hospitality one. For engineering, they may send you to SEGI, for example, okay? Because some of these institutions got connection with MQA, all right, to do the assessment, all right? So in the website, very clear, the website will have a table. Depending on your bidang, where will be your assessment center? So they will put there already. Where is your assessment center? Okay. So honestly speaking, I find the website is very, very informative. Everything is there. The government makes it they do it quite well on this, I would dare say. Every month we send reports. Every month Hazim will need to send, or every 2 months send report to them. What is our status? What is our status, and so on. So we even have a what do you call it? A WhatsApp group with MQA with all the APEL C centers, because when they send information, especially in the past 24 months, a lot of information has been changing. Because during the COVID times, they wanted to encourage people to study, so they changed certain things. So that is how proactive they are. Okay, so now it comes down to the institution lah. What do we want to do about this lah? How do we want to push this? Alright. Seperti yang dijanjikan. Not. Okay. Okay. Tang. So the next thing here is keep records. Evidence is key. In APEL, one of the key things is evidence. Bukti. Everything is on bukti. So you need to keep your records. You need to have your evidence. Make sure everything is clear and precise. So like here we are very lucky. I think all of us, our institution, like Keen, when she does the exam, she has all the records. So on the date, what day we do the interview, what day we do the assessment, she has all the records. Is in the system. We also have our records over here, because the thing about APEL is we are recognizing based on a certain level. Because of this recognition and based on this certain level, the records or evidence needs to be clear and precise. Just in case people ask, why does this students, why do you award this student? Why do you give this student? So we must show the evidence over there. Okay. Any questions, guys? Paham? So for those of you in UG, if you need any more questions, you want to sit down and chat about this, feel free, come to my office, we can chat. Hazim and I will be very happy to speak to you. If we are not here, Alicia will be able to explain to you also, so there's no problem about that. Over in Penang, please speak to Melissa. She is the FLC coordinator. So if there's anything, you just speak to her and she'll be able to explain to you also. All right, I'm just conducting, but she has the exact same information as what I am saying, as I'm telling you all. Okay? Any questions? Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Can? Good? No, good. That means you understand. Now, as I'm saying, hospitality, Fahmi is here, Chef Fahmi, as I spoke to you earlier today, quite a lot of inquiries from hotel school. So it's actually good. So I think you'll be good because one of your colleagues, Chef Fahmi, is actually bringing in one chef, bringing in a chef physically to come and talk about this. So it is good lah. It is good for you to be there so that you can yeah, check with him. Thank you very much. Okay, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Thank you very much. As I told you, the briefing will not be long. It's mainly for you to understand what APEL is, and this is the way and how the institution is really pushing on this itself. Okay, with that, thank you. Have a very good midweek. It is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then it is end of the week again. So that is something positive that we can think of. All right, guys. Thank you very much. See you all. Bye. Mhm. So UG colleagues, just check with Alicia. She's willing to help you.